Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this, the Explorer HL-10 from Powertac. This is their headlamp, 2500 lumens of output. You have a flood beam, you have a more of a tight beam to punch light out into the night. You've got red, white, and an infrared as well. Really cool light. This is definitely like a high-tech, high-quality headlamp. Right now at the time of this video, if you use the code I've got down in the description section, you could save 30% off on this light and other Powertac products. So that's a nice savings for lights in general from Powertac, and this one in particular that I do like a lot. So I am definitely a fan of Powertac. They make a good quality product. I've had no issues with my Powertacs over the years. Let's talk about this one, give you the details, and then we'll take it out into the night and use it. All right, so here's a look at the headlamp. You can see we've got these two different lights as far as for your two different outputs. It mounts on your head, obviously, with the strap going over the top, and then it's going to tilt down as much as you want and up as much as you want. There's your side charging switch. They have the magnetic cord, so that's going to attach there, and then USB on the other end. When you get it, you do have to attach basically the lighting system to the mount with this little kind of sort of like a bolt that's going to go in there. Takes 2 seconds, easy to do. I think because of the size of this, having the strap that goes over the top of your head is good. It's not huge, but because it is a little bit bigger and not just like a tiny little Princeton Tech, it's nice to have that additional piece that goes over the top of your head. And you can see it's rubberized in there, which is nice because it actually keeps it in place. Fully adjustable there on the back and on the top as well. So you basically have two different options. You have a flood option and then a focused option. So let's talk about the focused option first. I got the details as far as the lumens right here. Your low is 20 lumens. That's going to run for 2.78 days, so that's quite a while. Your medium, 300 lumens for 4.95 hours. Your high at 1180 lumens for 1.6 hours. Your turbo at 2500 lumens for 1.53 hours. Your strobe and your SOS are 2500 lumens, and that's going to be for 2 hours each. One thing I can, as you see the mosquitoes flying around here, one thing I can tell you is that Powertac has technology built in. So A, your electronics are not going to fry when it's at the highest level, but B, it's not 2500 lumens for 2 minutes and then dropping down. It's going to stay at that high output, and you're not going to see a big drop down as far as the output. I've got one of their, I think it's called the Destroyer X, if I remember, and basically it runs, and it's going to run at that turbo output for a long time because it's got a built-in fan, and they've got the diffusing fins. So just to let you know, you're getting a lot of output for a long time if you get this headlamp. So as far as your floodlight, you've got basically the output of turning it on for 150 lumens. That's for 6.4 hours. Your strobe is 150 lumens for 12.8 hours. It says your SOS is 15 lumens for 12.8, but I would assume that's just a misprint here, and it's probably 150 lumens for 12.8 hours as well. Now you've also got that red output, and it says right here, red output 625 nm. I've never even seen that before, but that's got to be like a rating for red output or red light output, and that's for 7 hours. And then for your strobe and your SOS, also 625 nm, and that's for 14 hours. And of course, we'll show you all these outputs in the nighttime. For your infrared, you've got 850 nm again, and that's going to be for 9.75 hours. Your SOS and your strobe in infrared are 850 nm, and that's for 19.5 hours. It's IPX7 rated. It's impact resistant to 2 meters. Your weight is going to be 111 grams without the battery and the strap, so I'll actually roll in the info as far as the weight right here on the bottom of the screen with the whole thing, all, you know, basically the full weight of everything. And Powertac, I'm going to say same thing to you I say to all companies. It's just easier to include the information of what it looks like with it all put together and a battery, just because that's how people are going to use it. So a lot of flashlight companies do that. I don't know if it's a standard in the industry, but it always seems weird to me to tell me the weight of something without all the pieces put together, but that's just me. When you get this, it does come with the 18650 battery, which I'll show you in a minute. You get a couple O-rings as well. Here's the charging cord. So you got USB on one end right there. And then here's your magnetic attachment point on the other end, right here. So that goes here, and that's how you're gonna charge it up. There's your 18650 battery, 18650, and it is a, let's see, 3200 milliamp hour battery. And basically you're gonna slide it in here like this, and then you get this little cap here, and you do need some sort of, like, you can use, you can't use a key, that your average key is gonna be a little bit thick, but basically, you know, flathead screwdriver, something else like that, that's flat, put this on, and then crank it down to make the full connection. So here's what it looks like actually on my head. Obviously, like I said before, you can tilt it down, you can tilt it up, however you want to set it up, wherever you want the light to be shining. All right, let's talk about function here. So you got button 1 and button 2. So we're gonna look at the focus beam first. So press button 1, just tap it. It's gonna come on. use button 2 to cycle through the different outputs, as you can see, and then tap it again and it's going to go off, and it will memorize the last output that you had it on. Now if you want strobe with this focus beam, you're going to double click button 1, so strobe warning here, double click, and click it again, it's going to go off. If you want SOS, you're going to hold this for, it says 0.8 seconds, so turn it on, and now it's into SOS mode. Again, this is for the focused beam, and then click it again, and it'll go off. Now for the flood beam, we're going to hit button 2, so I'll hit that, it's going to come on, and then you're going to cycle through the flood beam, and then red, and then when you hit it again, it's going to go to IR, back to the flood, and then when you turn it off, hit button 2 again. Now you do have strobe and SOS in the normal color beam, the red beam, and then also in your IR beam. So I'm going to double click, and you're going to see it come on into strobe mode, and it's set in the normal output now. So here it comes, double click, here comes strobe, so strobe warning. There's strobe, click it again, it's going to go off. So I turn it on, and then I go to red, which you can see, yeah, so that's red now. Now I'm going to do strobe in red, so strobe warning, so double click this, and now it's in strobe in red. Now I turn it back on, it's on red, I'm going to go to infrared, and if I double click this, it's going to be strobing in infrared, which you can't really, or yeah, it'll be strobing in infrared, which you can't really see now, but that's what it's doing. So let me turn this off here. I'm going to go back to, let's see, the normal option and turn it off. So same thing with SOS. If you long hold the button 2, it's going to come on as SOS. So here's SOS with the normal color. If I stop it and let's say I turn it on and then go to red, I long hold in red and it's going to go to SOS, and then the same thing for infrared as well. So hold this, turn it on, now it's in infrared, long hold, and you can't see it but it's doing SOS in infrared. Click it to turn it off, turn it on, select back to the normal output. So lots of outputs. You got the flood, you got the spotlight, you got SOS, red, strobe, infrared, excuse me, lots of different options for this light. So all the information on how to run it is obviously in the manual as well. I'm telling you in the video as well. But what matters is what it looks like when you're using it at night and the outputs and how it functions. So let's wait till the night falls, then take it out and use it. All right, guys, I'm outside now. We're going to put the headlamp to use. Let's start off with your spotlight, and we're going to go through all the different outputs. So we'll hit the first one here. It's 20 lumens. Let me show you what that looks like. So looking out into the yard in front of me, I could see, you know, not well, I would say. And the yard goes about 200 feet off into the distance. There's a stone wall. So I can barely see, you know, with the human eye, you can't really pick anything up on the camera here. But again, there's my hand, you could see. So, I mean, I could see, you know, a couple of feet in front of me. Let me point the camera down to show you that. So you can see the driveway here that I'm standing on. All right, we're going to go up to medium here. That's 300 lumens looking out into the yard. So now with the human eye, I can actually look into the yard and see most of it quite well. So let me just shine this around a little bit so you can see. So that's the, you can see the place it over there in my yard. You can see the little garden here, the house. Kind of fades off when you look into the yard, but 300 lumens definitely give you some nice light. You can see the 4 chairs that are out in the distance. So if somebody was sitting in those chairs, I could definitely see them at this point. And those chairs are probably over 100 feet away right now. So with this at 300 lumens, I can definitely see quite well out into the yard. All right, we're gonna look at those same chairs, go up to 1,180 lumens. So yeah, I can see the entire side yard here quite well. There's a play set. All right, we're gonna go up to 2,500 lumens. So this is turbo coming up. Here comes turbo. You guys can see the stone wall there. That's 200 feet away plus. All right, I'm going to show you SOS here. So hang on, and here comes SOS. And we'll show you the strobe here, looking at the side of the house, so strobe warning. All right, so let's put on the other option now. We're going to put on the flood here. So there's your flood looking at the side of the house. When I do look out into the yard, it gets pretty diffuse pretty quickly, but let's show you the red output now. So definitely can see quite well looking around here. And the IR, you're not going to be able to see, but you can put it on IR if you want to. Back to the flood here. Let's go to SOS with the flood. All right, let's go to strobe with the flood here. So strobe warning. So that's what that looks like. Let me go out into the yard now and actually shine this back at the camera. As you can see, I spotted a deer out here. I'll probably run now they just heard my voice. Go through this one more time from the lowest setting up to the highest. So here's the lowest. Looking at the side of our house. Second setting up. And I'm about 60 feet away. Third setting. Lights the thing up. And the last setting, the turbo. All right, we are back here talking about the Explorer HL-10 from Powertac. I want to give you another number, HL-60R. That is a headlamp from Phoenix, and for a long time, this has been my favorite headlamp. This one is seriously competing with that headlamp. So that one's got like 900 or maybe 950 lumens. So this is like, I mean, notably more, almost 3 times more than that headlamp. Let me tell you about what I like about this thing. I love it's got a variety of outputs. So you've got that flood for when you're just kind of maybe working around camp or working in one particular area and you're not looking to get a whole lot of light out into the field. The nice thing about that is it gives you enough light to operate, but it's not killing your battery. Right, so it's putting out enough light for you to do what you got to do, but it's not so much light that's just overkill, right? At the same time, with that spotlight, you can definitely punch out into the night. I mean, for a headlamp to be able to reach 200 feet out, as well as this thing did, to me that's super impressive. So major win on that. The IR feature I'm not going to use, but if you're in law enforcement, military, other fields that might be helpful, nice that you have that. SOS, great. The strobe, great as well. The fact that you have the red light feature for operating at night around camp, again, if law enforcement, military as well, so you're going to save your night vision. So definitely a win with that thing as well. I think the main thing for people who are going to have questions about this headlamp is going to be the weight. So I noted it before as I annotated it there. It's not super light. With that said, to me it's like if you want something tiny, get a little Princeton Tech, get a little maybe like a Black Diamond, something like that. If you're gonna get a bigger headlamp and you want some serious light, you're gonna have a little bit more weight. This thing doesn't feel clunky to me though, because one thing I noted here in my use was the width of the strap. I mean, it feels like it's not like a tiny little thin strap on your head, and therefore it feels like it's, you have to like crank it down to keep it in place. Because the straps are wider, it just kind of balances out how it feels on the head. So a little bit heavier than other headlamps that are out there, but man, this thing just does a great job. I've been a fan of Powertac for years. I like their products. I like what they have to offer. And they're not just trying to be hey, we're just going to keep pushing out products to, every consumer out there who would want a little flashlight. They're trying to make a high quality product. And so that's why they don't have 12 different or 10 different headlamps out there. They have this headlamp as the main one that they are pushing right now because it does such a great job. I'm trying to think, do they have other headlamps? I'll have to double check on their website, but this one's a win. I definitely like this light. Price point for this one, now listen to me, it's $159 on their website, but with the code EDTV you could save 30%, so that's basically $50 off right there. So a lifelong investment. The magnetic rechargeable feature with the USB, 18650, tons of different outputs, rugged, works well. I mean, the biggest thing for me is, does it really put light out into the night where I need it at nighttime? And it does. So yeah, major win for this light. Definitely a fan. Hopefully you guys are too. If you get one, let me know. I'd love to hear your experience with it. If you use the code EDTV, you'll save 30% over on their website. I got links down below in the description section. It's in the top 2. It may be #1 at this point. We'll give it some more use and we'll see what position it takes, but an excellent headlamp. So let's hear your thoughts and your feedback based on this video and also your experience with Powertac, and in particular if you've used this headlamp. Let's get that conversation started in the comment section now. Alright guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.